everyone, so today we are going to talk about Malay dances. Let's go. So Malay dances or Tarian Melayu depicts the true nature of how the Malay people live. Now there are two types of Malay dances. We have the original Malay dances and the adopted Malay dances. So what are the differences between the original and the adopted Malay dances? Now the original Malay dances are indigenous to the Malay culture and the Malay region, whereas the adopted Malay dances are influenced by foreign cultures due to political and historical events. Now, the Malay dances are further categorized into two, which are categorized from their irama, which is the beat, and rentak, which is rhythm. So now let's talk about the four basic genres of Malay dance. The original Malay dances are the Asli dance and the Inang dance, whereas the adopted dances are the Zapin and Joget. So let's talk about the Asli dance. Now, the Asli means original is the basic genre of Malay dance. Now, the dance movements can be traced back to the early Malay kingdoms in the 14th century. So, its beat and rhythm is slow paced. The dance style is graceful and elegant as it depicts the charming nature of the Malay ladies. Now, Inang, which is another form of the original Malay dance, is derived from the word Mak Inang. Now, Mak Inang in Malay means the nanny or the chief lady in waiting who is responsible in looking after the royal children. Now, the Inang beats and dance movements are fast-paced compared to the Asli dance. It portrays the grace and swaying movements of the royal maids and has all the qualities of a palace performance. Let's move on to Joget. Now, Joget is an example of the adopted Malay dances. The Joget was actually introduced by Portuguese people in the early 16th century. The Joget is usually performed at social events such as weddings. Its fast-paced and catchy beat with a combination of fast hand movements and leg movements appeal to both young and old alike. Now, next moving on is the next adopted dance, which is the Zapin dance. The Zapin dance started in the early 15th centuries and it was brought by the Arabic people. The Zapin performance were actually very popular among the royalty, and it's usually performed in palace functions, and every rehearsal was done under the watchful eye of the Sultan. Now that we have been introduced to Malay dances, let's dive deeper by learning more about the Tarian Ulik Mayang from Terengganu.
Tarian Ulik Mayang is a classical Malay dance from the state of Terengganu in Malaysia. It is a ritualistic dance performed to appease or invoke the spirits of the sea and is always accompanied by a unique song also called Ulik Mayang. An orchestra comprising drums, gong, violin, accordion accompanies the dance. Ulik Mayang is said to have its origin in an ancient tale about a princess who fell in love with a fisherman. The princess abducted the fisherman's soul, leaving his body unconscious. His friends entreated a bomo or shaman to heal him, but when the bomo conducted the healing procedure, the princess appeared and responded by calling on 5 of her sisters to her aid. The battle between the bomo and the 6 princesses continued until the 7th and the eldest princess appeared to put an end to it. She is also described as the most beautiful, the smartest, and also the strongest of them all. The princess commanded, "Aku tahu asal-usulmu, biarkan yang laut pulang ke laut, yang darat pulang ke darat," which translates to, "I know your origins, let those from the sea return to the sea, and those from the land return to the land." The grateful bomo and the fisherman's friends present the princess with coloured rice as an offering to the spirits of the sea. This practice, along with the Ulik Mayang, continued until the Islamization movement of the recent decades.
Moving on, the next dance we'll be learning about is the Tarian Cinta Sayang from Kedah.
Hi, I'm going to introduce you a kind of traditional Malay dance. It's called Cinta Sayang dance. Translate it into English, it means love dance. It originates from the folk dance called Zikr Rahman. This dance describes the sending of sinner by the family of fishermen going out to the sea, and the rich fisherman a good bountiful trip and pray for their safe return.
Next dance you'll be learning about is a Tarian Mak Yong from Kelantan.
Mak Yong is a traditional form of a dance drama from Northern Malaysia which is Kelantan. Mak Yong is one of the oldest form of dance theatre. This dance is considered as the most authentic and representative Malay performance art. It was because it was mostly untouched by external source. This dance is not seen as the others dance. The other dance is used for wedding or an event, but this dance is mostly for a ritual. This performance began by respect the spirit with an offering. This is followed by dancing, acting, and improvised dialogue. This story was presented by 3 hours for several nights. The lead of the dancer was Pak Yong. Pak Yong was dressed as a king. The guests usually include by a queen in a second lead, bonus girl, and a jester. Traditionally, all the performers were female, except the clown. This dance instrument is 3 strings tied lute, drum, and pair of gong. To tell the story behind this dance is Mak Yong was originally involved in ritual connected with prostitution as well as healing. Mak Yong age was really mysterious. Certain scholars connected Mak Yong with a palace, especially in Patani, but there is no evidence at all. It was patronized by all the layers of society to pay respect for the spirit, give thanks for the harvest, or to care person.
Before we end the video, allow us to give a short conclusion to wrap up our video.
So, as a conclusion, it is definitely beneficial and important to explore and learn about traditional Malay dances as described by my friends earlier in this video. Traditional Malay dances will disappear if it's not preserved. By learning traditional Malay dances, it connects us directly from the present to the past as it brings back our ancestors, culture and heritage. Also, learning traditional Malay dances is a way to preserve our culture and to pass the tradition from one generation to another generation. Next, there are actually many ways to preserve traditional Malay dances. For instance, if you are a student, you can enroll yourself in traditional Malay dances class. Like me myself, I decided to register a traditional Malay dances course for my extracurricular activities, and it has helped me a lot to learn some new interesting traditional Malay dances. I was also able to make some new friends and stay fit at the same time. Moreover, educational institutions such as schools and universities can also play their role in preserving traditional Malay dances. As an example, they can organize a traditional Malay dances competition. This will definitely attract their students to join the competition, especially those who are interested in traditional dances. And when the students join the competition, they will definitely invest their time by putting in effort to learn some traditional Malay dances. That's all from me. I hope whoever watches this video will at least feel encouraged to learn traditional dances, be it Malay traditional dances or others. Always remember that being able to learn traditional dances is an indication that a culture still lives on. Thank you so much for listening. Bye bye.